we want to talk about segments or lists. So when we talk about lists in HubSpot, lists just helps us to be able to categorize different modules. So you can be able to create lists for different objects. You can decide to create a list, and you can say the list should be active or the list should be static. Okay, so the difference between the active list and the static list is that the active list updates automatically as time goes on. So let's say you want to create a list where you only want to see contacts that are from a particular country. So let's say you want to create a list and want to check in for contacts that are from Nigeria. So when you want to do that, if you add in another contacts into your HubSpot account and they are from Nigeria, and you add the new contacts, even after creating that list, the list is going to get updated automatically. So that is for active lists. So static lists do not update automatically. So static lists do not update automatically. They remain the same after you have created them. So let's see how to create active and static lists. So to create a static list, that means also segments, you can see all of the segments that have been created on here. And you can also see that you can also create a new segment by clicking on create segment, and it's going to ask you the object you want to create the segment for. You can decide that you want to create this segment for contacts, or you want to create for companies, or you want to create for deals and orders and all of this. You can also decide to create for other objects if you want. So for the sake of this tutorial, let's see how we can create a list for our contacts. So we have contact, and we just click on contact, and when you click on contact, you can click on next, and when you click on next, it is going to take you to this place where you can be able to add your filter. So when you add in your filter here, you can say we only want to see contacts that have the lead status. So let's say lead status. So the lead status is any of, we can say we want to check if the lead status is new or if the lead status is open and in progress. So when you do this, you can be able to add in another filter, and you can say you want to see if the lead status is new, open, or in progress. And when you say hand, you are saying that both of these conditions must be fulfilled. When you had a hand filter, you can say if the lead status is this and this and this, and you can also say if the email is available. So that means if the email is not empty. So let's look for that. So we can say if the email is known and the lead status is any of this, then this can be triggered for this list. So you can also say, you can also create an or condition. So what the or condition means is that if we add in another filter group here, so we are saying that the first group can be fulfilled or the second group can be fulfilled also. So we can also say that we want to check in, or we want to check in for lead source. So let's say lead source is any of, so let's add in some. So let's say we are adding in websites, email, social media, Google search. Yeah, so we are saying that group 1 or group 2 can be fulfilled to enter this list. So it is saying that lead status can be any of these, and the email is unknown. That is one group. Then the group 2 is lead source is any of this. That is group 2. So we can say, so you can also decide to add in another filter group if you want. That will be group 3. And when you add that in, you just click on that is going to add in that filter also for this particular segment. So when you are done adding all of the filters you want to add, you want to click on next, and when you click on next, it is going to ask you if you want to make this a static or an active list. The reason why we are going to be making this active list is because we want this to get automatically updated itself. So that means if we add in another lead tomorrow, and those leads are currently from any of this lead source, or those leads have the lead status as new, as or open or in progress, they are going to be added to this list. But if we decide I want to make this a static list, we are saying that only the contacts that fit into this criteria today, at this moment where we are creating this list, is only going to be added into this list. So that is the difference. Let me come again so you can understand. Active list is saying that as time goes on and we have more leads that are fitting into any of this criteria, whether group 1 or group 2, they are going to be added into this list. That is for static list. So it automatically updates itself. It's going to check it as time goes on if there's any lead fitting into group 1 criteria or group 2 criteria, and it's going to add them into this list. Whereas static list is only going to show us all of the contacts that are fulfilling all these criteria today at this moment when we are creating this list. Yeah, I hope that's not confusing. So when you click on next, you can decide to use active list and you can decide to use static list. So let's prove that, or let's see how that works. So we can decide to make this active list and we can add in a description if we want. We can also decide to save and process our segments. So let's name this segment and let's name this open contact. So let's decide to name this open contact, and we can say that we want to edit the criteria we just did, and we can also check in for the details, and we can do a lot of actions. We can decide to clone this, we can decide to compare this with another list, we can decide to convert this to a static list from an active list. So now we have 20 contacts that are fulfilling this or this, and when we go back to our contact here, so let me go back to contact here. So let's see if I can find any contacts that have the lead source. Okay, so let's see if the contact lead source is unassigned. Then let's say I want to add the lead source as Google search. So let's pick 3 and add them as Google search. So we go back to contacts and I'm just going to pick 3 of these. So we've picked 3 of this. We can then say we want to edit something. So let's say we want to edit the lead source. So let's say lead source, yeah, and let's say we want to make the lead source to be Google search. So when you pick in Google search and you click on update, this is going to update for the 3 contacts we just added, and that has updated for that. And we can go back into our segments here, and we have 20 contacts currently, and when we refresh this, we can be able to see that it is going to increase to 23, and that is because we just added in 3 other contacts into this. Yeah, so we just need to wait a little bit for it to populate in, but it is going to add it into 23, and we can be able to see the new contacts that have been added. So that is for active and static list. If you have been using HubSpot for a while, or your team have been using HubSpot for a while, and you feel like your team are not using HubSpot the way they are supposed to, we at CRM instructors, we can help train your team to make sure that they understand HubSpot to the fullest potential, and they can understand how to use HubSpot for your particular sales process. So you can book your team training by using the link in the description below, or you can check us out at crminstructors.com to see how we train teams to use HubSpot optimally. And also do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also like this video, and also share to everyone who you think is going to need this video. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.